Have you ever felt like your body is sending you a series of disconnected distress signals? A nagging ache at the base of your skull, a persistent ringing in your ears that no one else can hear, headaches that creep up on you in the middle of the day, and a general sense of mental fog that makes it hard to focus. For many people, especially as we move past the age of 50, these aren't just isolated annoyances, they are chronic issues that can dramatically reduce your quality of life. You might visit different specialists for each problem, one for the neck pain, another for the tinnitus, perhaps another for the headaches, and end up with a cabinet full of remedies that only seem to mask the symptoms. But what if these seemingly separate problems weren't separate at all? What if they were all branches stemming from the same root? A single, overlooked issue hidden right at the top of your spine. There is a growing body of evidence suggesting that this is not just a possibility, but a reality for millions. The idea that a specific neck technique could change your life might sound like an exaggeration, but when you understand the intricate mechanics of this area, you begin to see how neck pain, tinnitus, headaches, and even brain fog can be profoundly interconnected. If this resonates with you, I encourage you to subscribe and join our community, because in this video, we're not just going to talk about a simple stretch. We're going to delve into the science behind a powerful technique that addresses the underlying cause of this constellation of symptoms, providing a clear, evidence-based path toward lasting relief. This isn't about a quick fix, it's about understanding your body and giving it what it needs to heal itself. The root of this widespread issue often lies in a condition so common it's become normalized: forward head posture. Imagine your head as a 12-pound bowling ball. In a healthy, aligned posture, your skeleton is designed to bear this weight efficiently, with the ball balanced perfectly atop your spine. Your neck muscles are relaxed, simply making minor adjustments. Now, consider what happens when you spend hours looking down at a phone, hunched over a computer, or even just from the subtle postural shifts that can occur over decades. For every single inch your head drifts forward from that center of gravity, the perceived weight on your cervical spine doubles. An inch forward, and your neck is supporting 24 pounds. 2 inches, it's 36 pounds. 3 inches, and you're asking your neck muscles to constantly support the weight of a small child. This isn't a temporary strain. For many of us, it's a permanent state of being. This chronic overload forces the muscles at the back of your neck, particularly the small but powerful group at the base of the skull, into a state of constant, desperate contraction. They are working overtime, day and night, just to keep your head from falling forward. This is the very definition of a repetitive strain injury, but it's happening in one of the most neurologically dense and critical areas of your entire body. It's no wonder that this relentless tension can lead to a cascade of problems. The pain is just the first and most obvious signal that something is wrong. It's the body's alarm bell, but what we often fail to recognize are the more subtle alarms that are also being triggered by this fundamental imbalance, affecting systems far beyond the muscles themselves. Understanding this mechanical stress is the first step, but the true key lies in identifying the specific, tiny muscles that bear the brunt of this force and hold the power to disrupt so much of our well-being. The epicenter of this dysfunction is a small group of 4 muscles on each side of the neck called the suboccipitals. They are located right at the base of your skull, connecting the top 2 vertebrae, the atlas and the axis, to the occipital bone of the cranium itself. Unlike the big, powerful muscles of your back and shoulders, the suboccipitals are designed for precision. Their primary job isn't to hold up your head, but to perform the delicate, fine-tuning movements of nodding and turning. What makes these muscles so unique and so critical is their incredibly high density of proprioceptive nerve endings. Proprioceptors are sensory receptors that tell your brain where your body is in space. The suboccipitals have more of these per gram of muscle tissue than almost any other muscle in the body. This means they are in constant, detailed communication with your brain, providing essential feedback for balance, coordination, and eye movement. When forward head posture forces these precision instruments into the role of heavy lifting support beams, they become chronically tight, ischemic, lacking blood flow, and riddled with painful trigger points. This sustained tension does more than just cause localized pain. It can lead to direct mechanical compression of critical structures that pass through or near this area, most notably the greater occipital nerve. This nerve emerges from the spine and travels up through the suboccipital region to provide sensation to the back and top of the head. When these muscles are in a state of perpetual spasm, they can literally pinch or irritate this nerve, a condition known as occipital neuralgia, which is a primary driver of a very common type of headache that feels like it starts at the neck and wraps around the head. This mechanism alone explains the direct link between neck tension and debilitating headaches, but the influence of these tiny, overworked muscles doesn't stop there. Their dysfunction can send faulty signals to the brain, creating a ripple effect that touches our very sense of clarity and balance. The connection between a tight neck and a pounding headache is now clear, but how does this mechanical issue translate into something as nebulous as brain fog or a sense of dizziness? The answer lies back with those proprioceptors, the dense network of sensors in the suboccipital muscles. Your brain relies on a constant, accurate stream of information from three sources to maintain balance and a clear sense of position: your inner ear, vestibular system, your eyes, visual system, and proprioception from your muscles and joints, with the neck being a primary contributor. When the suboccipital muscles are chronically tight and dysfunctional, the proprioceptive signals they send to the brain become corrupted and unreliable. Imagine trying to navigate using a faulty GPS that keeps giving you slightly incorrect information. Your brain is forced to work harder to reconcile the conflicting data from your eyes, inner ear, and neck. This sensory mismatch can manifest as a feeling of unsteadiness, lightheadedness, or what's known as cervicogenic dizziness originating from the neck. Furthermore, this constant state of sensory conflict and muscular tension requires significant brain power to manage, diverting cognitive resources away from higher-level functions like focus, memory, and clear thinking. This diversion of mental energy can directly contribute to the subjective experience of brain fog. While less definitively proven, some researchers also theorize that severe forward head posture can, in some cases, affect blood flow through the vertebral arteries, which run up through the vertebrae of the neck to supply the back of the brain. Any compromise in this critical blood supply could further impact cognitive function. So, the brain fog isn't all in your head in a psychological sense. It can be a genuine neurological consequence of a profound mechanical problem at the base of your skull. Now we arrive at perhaps the most surprising and, for many, the most frustrating symptom: tinnitus, or the perception of ringing in the ears. The link here is more complex and is an active area of scientific investigation, but a compelling theory revolves around what is known as somatic tinnitus. This is a type of tinnitus that can be modulated or influenced by movements or stimulation of the body, particularly the head and neck. The key to this connection lies in the brainstem, specifically in a region called the dorsal cochlear nucleus, which is one of the first stops for auditory information traveling from the ear to the brain. Research has shown that this auditory processing center also receives sensory input from the head and neck region, including from those proprioceptive nerves in the suboccipital muscles. The theory is that when the signals from the neck are abnormal, due to chronic tension, inflammation, or nerve irritation, this non-auditory information can crosstalk with the auditory signals, causing the brain to misinterpret it as sound. Essentially, the hyperactivity in the sensory nerves of the neck can trigger hyperactivity in the auditory centers of the brain, creating a phantom noise. This is why some people find their tinnitus gets louder when they turn their head a certain way or when their neck pain flares up. Moreover, the upper cervical spine is in very close proximity to the vagus nerve, a critical component of the autonomic nervous system which regulates everything from heart rate to digestion. Mechanical stress in this area could potentially influence vagal tone, and while the research is still emerging, autonomic dysregulation has been linked to a variety of conditions, including tinnitus. Finding this information helpful? Please take a moment to click the like button. It truly helps the video get seen by others who may be searching for these answers and are struggling with these very same issues. Understanding the problem is critical, but the goal is to find a solution. We will now move into the practical technique that can begin to address this deep-seated issue. This is a two-part approach. First, we need to release the chronic tension in those overworked suboccipital muscles, and second, we must retrain the body to adopt a healthier posture to prevent the problem from returning. Let's start with the release. The goal here is to apply gentle, sustained pressure to the tight, tender spots in the suboccipital muscles to encourage them to relax and let go. You can do this with your own fingers. Lie down on your back on a firm surface, like the floor, with your knees bent and feet flat. This helps to relax your entire spine. Take the fingertips of both hands and place them at the back of your neck, right at the base of your skull. You'll feel the bony ridge of the occiput. Let your fingers slide just below that ridge into the soft, muscular tissue. Gently explore this area. You are looking for spots that feel tight, ropey, or tender to the touch. These are the trigger points we want to address. Once you find a tender spot, simply rest the weight of your head onto your fingertips. Do not press hard or try to massage vigorously. The key is sustained, gentle pressure. Breathe deeply and slowly, and try to relax into the pressure for 30 to 90 seconds. You might feel the muscle begin to soften or the tenderness start to fade. Then, move to another spot and repeat. For a more effective and passive release, you can use a tool like 2 tennis balls taped together or a specialized suboccipital release tool. Place the tool on the floor and lie down, positioning it so it cradles the base of your skull, applying pressure to those same muscles. Again, just relax and let the weight of your head do the work. The sensation should be one of good pain or relieving pressure, never sharp, shooting, or electric pain. Releasing the tight suboccipital muscles provides immediate relief, but it's like mopping up a spill without fixing the leaky pipe. If you don't address the underlying forward head posture, those muscles will simply tighten up again. This brings us to the second and arguably more important part of the technique: strengthening the deep neck flexor muscles at the front of your neck. These muscles are the direct antagonists to the overworked muscles at the back. When they are strong and active, they help pull your head back into proper alignment, taking the strain off the suboccipitals. The single best exercise for this is the cervical chin tuck. It may feel strange at first, but it is incredibly effective. You can do this lying down, sitting, or standing. Let's start lying down for the easiest version. Lie on your back without a pillow. Your goal is to gently lengthen the back of your neck by tucking your chin slightly, as if you are trying to make a double chin, while pressing the back of your head gently into the floor. It is a very small, subtle movement. You are not trying to lift your head or aggressively jam your chin to your chest. Think about sliding the back of your skull upwards along the floor. You should feel a gentle stretch at the base of your skull and an activation of the muscles at the very front of your throat. Hold this gentle contraction for 5 to 10 seconds, and then relax. Repeat this 10 times. As you get stronger, you can perform this exercise while sitting or standing against a wall. The key is to make it a regular habit throughout your day. Every time you're stopped at a red light, waiting for the microwave, or sitting at your desk, perform a few chin tucks. This consistent retraining is what gradually corrects your resting posture, providing a long-term solution rather than just temporary relief from the symptoms. Now, let's bring it all together into a practical and safe routine. The most effective approach combines both techniques. You can perform the suboccipital release once a day, perhaps in the evening before bed, to unwind the tension accumulated throughout the day. Spend about 5 minutes gently working on those tender spots. Following the release, while you're still lying down, you can immediately perform a set of 10 chin tucks to begin activating the correct muscles while the opposing ones are relaxed. Then, the real work happens during the day. The goal is to integrate the chin tuck exercise into your daily life. Set reminders on your phone or use visual cues, like a sticky note on your computer monitor, to perform 5 to 10 chin tucks every hour. This frequent, low-intensity activation is far more effective for postural retraining than one single, intense session. Consistency is everything. You are retraining decades of postural habits, and it will not happen overnight. Be patient with yourself and your body. It's important to listen to your body throughout this process. Some mild muscle soreness at the front of your neck is normal when you begin the chin tucks, as you are waking up muscles that have been dormant. However, you should never feel sharp, shooting pain, numbness, tingling down your arms, or increased dizziness or tinnitus while performing these exercises. If you experience any of these red flag symptoms, stop immediately. These could be signs of a more serious underlying condition that requires medical evaluation. This entire video and the techniques discussed are for informational purposes only. They are not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Before beginning this or any other exercise program, especially if you have a history of neck injury, arthritis, or other medical conditions, it is absolutely essential that you consult with a qualified healthcare professional, such as a doctor or a physical therapist. They can properly diagnose the cause of your symptoms and ensure these techniques are appropriate and safe for you. Share this video with a friend or family member who you think might benefit from this information, and please, take care of your health by seeking professional guidance.